You already know the answer. You just haven't realized it yet. Every day, your brain is making a quiet decision, not about what's true, but about what to let in. Information that agrees with what you already believe? Welcome. Information that challenges it? Blocked, dismissed, or quietly twisted until it fits the story you're already telling yourself. This is confirmation bias, and it's not a flaw in stupid people. It's not something that happens to the uneducated, the gullible, or the extreme. It's running in every human brain at every moment, including yours right now as you watch this. The question isn't whether you have it. The question is how badly it's distorting your reality without you knowing. Here's how it works. The moment you form an opinion about a person, a political idea, a relationship, a diet, anything, your brain doesn't stay neutral. It immediately begins operating like a prosecutor, not a scientist. It's no longer asking what's true. It's asking, how can I prove what I already think? And it finds the evidence, because evidence is everywhere. The world is messy and full of data points, and your brain is extraordinarily good at selecting which ones to pick up and which ones to step over. Studies show that people spend significantly more time reading articles that confirm their views than articles that challenge them. In one famous experiment, people rated identical logical arguments as more convincing when they agreed with the conclusion, and full of holes when they didn't. Same argument, opposite reactions. The only variable was whether it matched what they already believed. It goes deeper than that. Confirmation bias doesn't just affect what we read or notice, it shapes what we remember. People misremember facts, timelines, even conversations, not deliberately but automatically, in ways that make their past decisions look smarter and their existing beliefs look more justified. Your memory is not a recording. It's a story your brain keeps editing. And then there's the way we evaluate other people. If you already like someone, you interpret their ambiguous behavior as warm and generous. If you've already decided they're a problem, the exact same behavior reads as manipulative or fake. The raw input is identical. The output is shaped entirely by what you walked in believing. So where does this come from? Why would evolution give us a brain that prefers being right over being accurate? The answer is efficiency. The brain evolved to survive, not to philosophize. Changing your mind is expensive. It requires processing contradictory information, dismantling mental models you've built over years, constructing new ones from scratch. That takes energy and time, both of which were scarce for most of human history. Confirmation bias is a shortcut. It keeps your worldview stable, your decisions fast, and your cognitive load low. In a world where hesitation could get you killed, that was useful. In a world where you're making decisions about your health, your finances, your relationships, and your politics, it's a liability. And the environment we live in now makes it dramatically worse. Social media algorithms don't show you the world. They show you a mirror. The more you engage with a certain type of content, the more you see of it. Your feed becomes a closed loop, ideas bouncing back at you, amplified, validated, stripped of any serious challenge. You're not exploring a landscape. You're in an echo chamber with HD walls, and it's not just online. We tend to form friendships with people who share our values. We live in neighborhoods sorted by income and politics. We consume media that aligns with our priors. The result is that for many people, genuine intellectual challenge, the kind that might actually change your mind, almost never happens. And the longer that goes on, the more natural it feels. You stop noticing the filter. It just feels like reality. The most dangerous moment is when everyone around you agrees, because agreement doesn't just feel comfortable, it feels like proof. It feels like you've arrived at the truth. But consensus in a filtered environment is not truth. It's an illusion of truth, and it's exactly where thinking stops. Here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Confirmation bias doesn't feel like bias. It feels like clarity. It feels like you're the one person who actually sees things as they are, while everyone else is caught up in ideology, or wishful thinking, or bad faith. That feeling of obvious rightness, that sense of, how can they not see this, is not a signal that you've found the truth. It's a signal that your filter is running at full power. Smart people are not immune. In fact, research suggests that people with higher verbal and analytical ability are sometimes better at rationalizing the conclusions they've already reached, not better at reaching correct ones. Intelligence can be recruited in service of bias just as easily as in service of truth. So what do you actually do about this? You can't simply decide to stop. The bias operates faster than conscious thought. By the time you're evaluating a piece of information, the filter has already been running for seconds. But you can build habits that compensate. The most powerful one is this. When you find yourself nodding along to something, when an argument feels obviously right, when evidence lines up cleanly, when you feel the satisfaction of being confirmed, stop. That feeling is the cue. Ask yourself, what would have to be true for the opposite position to be correct? Not what's wrong with the opposite position. Genuinely, what evidence would exist if it were right? Then go look for that evidence. Not to be converted, not to torture yourself, but to stress test your own thinking. Strong beliefs should be able to survive contact with the best counterargument. If yours can't, that's information. Seek out sources that disagree with you, not fringe or bad faith ones, but serious, well-reasoned ones. Read the steel man version of the position you reject, not the straw man. Talk to people whose life experience is genuinely different from yours, and hold your conclusions a little more loosely, not because nothing is true, but because your access to truth is always partial, always filtered, always shaped by what you've already experienced and believed. The version of reality your brain is currently showing you is a curated edit. Certain things got cut, certain things got amplified, and you can't fully know which is which. That's not a comfortable thought. But sitting with that discomfort, that small, persistent uncertainty, might be the closest thing we have to thinking clearly.